Wow, Ryan Garcia has been cleared of one of the two PEDs in his system. They did further testing. This video, I'm not going to talk about that as much, but you need to hit the bell icon. You need to hit the subscribe button. I have a video that I'm working on where I will take a deep dive into the cleared alleged banned substance that he was thought to have tested positive for that has now came back and been removed, right? I've already did a preview video. You could check that out, but the deep dive is going to take more time. You guys got to continue to support the channel. But this is very interesting news. Now, in addition to that, that information just came out yesterday, courtesy of Dan Raphael, and I made a video about it. Keep in mind, Dan Raphael is the same person who put out the initial story that broke the news that Ryan even failed in the first place. So he had a source then, and now he has a source now, and he even posted receipts in the form of the VADA test. He showed like the actual paperwork. Again, the deep dive video coming soon. But now I got some breaking news. The executive director of the New York State Athletic Commission, the day after this happened, has stepped down, and Ryan Garcia, you know, he was all over talking about it. You guys see it on the screen. Head of New York State Athletic Commission resigns. New York State Athletic Commission executive director has suddenly resigned, stating the need to care for her elderly parents. So why is this important? Ryan Garcia has claimed his innocence, and the fight with Devin Haney took place in New York under this commission. And then Ryan pops dirty, he pops hot. He still, you know, almost keeps trolling and acting like he's unbothered, saying, hey, they're trying to cheat me. They're trying to take my win away from me. And then the timing is exceptionally weird. The timing that yesterday news came out that he was cleared of basically the anabolic, which is the metabolite for nandrolone, right? And then the day later, the person with the commission in a high position of power resigns and says, hey, I got to watch my parents. Timing is really weird. Ryan also, keep in mind, had previously threatened to sue people like VADA, and I think he even said he wanted to sue the commission after this test failed. He said they're trying to cheat me of my win. So circumstantial, yes, but one must admit, if we're being real, that the timing is very weird on this whole thing. Ryan put the shrug emoji. Then he says, RG, Ryan Garcia wins the case. They try to set me up, and now look at them run. So regardless of if there's any connectivity to Ryan's case, you got to admit that the timing is weird. He then goes on to say, there was a billionth of a gram found in my system. Bruh, you can't make this up. Now the New York State Athletic Commission executive director resigns. Everyone is backtracking now. Stop messing with me. Defamation lawsuits. All you fake ad reporters like Dan Raphael and everyone else who tried to claim I cheated, you suck a huge one to the point where you explode. So Ryan is kind of using this as a victory lap and almost like vindication, which we'll get to in, you know, at the end of this video. Now, I know what the haters are saying. I know what you guys are thinking, and I'll show you. I've studied the haters right here online, and Ryan has said a lot of things and alleged a lot of things, right? So the haters are thinking right now, the Haniacs, they're like, yo, ego. Who cares? Ryan has said a lot of stuff. How do we know he's telling the truth? And somebody resigned from NYSAC. Well, it's been confirmed by a boxing reporter that has nothing to do with Ryan Garcia exclusively, right? Jake Donovan, who works with The Ring, used to work with Boxing Scene, and he says, I have been told that Kim Subler has stepped down from her role as executive director of the New York State Athletic Commission. She previously held that role since mid-2017. Matthew DeLaglio is the current NYSAC, New York Commission Director of Boxing, will be elevated to acting. So they have to, basically, this Matthew fella is going to take that role. So she's alleging, this person, that she has family matters, no Drake diss, that she has to attend to. And as a result of that, she doesn't want the job or the position. Timing is really weird. Now, time for me to talk my talk. The Haney Garcia is full of twists and turns. Now, I told you guys, 2024, all 2024, bet on me or you could bet on them. And the information that I was providing you is fair, objective, entertaining, but also reasonable. And now you're getting to see that. When this news broke about Ryan Garcia, per usual, I reported it. No problem. I said, hey, Ryan got some stuff. This is not a good look. You know, Ryan's gonna have to clean this stuff up. But based on me being an intelligent man and some of the elements of it being weird, some were in question, I took a very specific stance. And if you watch my channel, you'll know what that stance is. But if this is maybe one of your first videos with me, I told you, I got to see how this thing plays out. This Haney Garcia from its inception has been a mess. It's been a mess, truly. You know, I thought they were friends. Then they're arguing like they're not friends. There's some pushing, there's some shoving, there's some mushing. Bill Haney was telling his son to fight in the center of the ring, which I told you was a bad idea. And Ryan was acting pretty much like a lunatic, running around like the Joker. It's just been full of basically drama, like a soap opera, right? So I said, let's see how this thing plays out. And for that, some people were so offended and so mad and said, oh, Ryan's cheating, just admit it. I said, let's wait. They said, oh man, how could you, ego, yada, yada, yada. Now the stance that I took is not looking so crazy. And I wait for these moments. Now all the people that jumped the gun, didn't have the test results, didn't have any information, and because they're Haniacs and they were quick to just pick a side because that's what it's about for them. It's not about boxing. It's about picking a side, and almost like a gang, right? It's like a gang. We ride with the gang no matter what. I don't do that. This is not a gang affiliated channel. All the fighters are great. Boxing Ego is great. Let them be great. I just give you my opinion on particular situations. But notice that Boxing Ego don't duck or dodge no topics in the world of boxing. If Jamal Charlo gets a DUI, I was the first person to report it. When Kovalev had issues and women who had claims, I reported it. When Canelo fails a drug test, I reported. So it's funny that you have Haniacs and old media. They say, oh, Boxing Ego's biased, but I don't duck no work. I don't duck or dodge any topics in world boxing, and I give the information to you out promptly. Now, the known Haniac content creators, are they making any content with this shocking revelation that just happened? And I even predicted this yesterday. When this news broke, I said, notice content creators on YouTube are slow to react when info comes out that directly contradicts the information they've been putting out. But as soon as info comes out that suits their agenda, those videos get published immediately. Do you believe me now? Do you believe me now? So just an example, and this is not just boxing. I just noticed this on YouTube in general. It could be like Kendrick versus Drake. When Drake puts out Family Matters, they're like, oh, he killed Kendrick. And then the bias starts to show. Then Kendrick will come out with Meet the Grams. And then the next day he has a anthem and a bop that everybody likes, or not everybody, but most people are jamming to, and it went totally viral. They playing it at the LA Dodgers game. They playing it at the NBA, you know, behind the scenes, it's just getting played and memed out, and that's Not Like Us. And then now the same people who were super biased for Drake, now they don't want to make videos talking about Not Like Us or Meet the Grams, because Drake dropped Family Matters, and then immediately 10 minutes or so later, Kendrick dropped, and it's like, oh, okay, Kendrick got something. And he responded almost instantaneous, which we'd never seen in rap battles before, where the hits in the songs was coming out so rapidly, where one guy drops at 8 p.m. and then by 8:15 there's a response. It's just unheard of. But now, you know, the ones that were super biased for Drake, they don't want to talk about Kendrick. You see it in boxing too. When Ryan Garcia popped dirty, the Haniacs immediately started to talk about, oh, Ryan's dirty. I knew he was dirty. And this is bad for boxing, or whatever people say. I don't listen to it. I just get an overflow. But the point I'm making is that Haniacs was all over it when it's a test fail. But are those same content creators, are those same channels now all over it when Ryan Garcia and the anabolic comes back cleared or not confirmed? But not confirmed is basically meaning it is cleared or removed from any wrongdoing. So that doesn't go against you. It doesn't count as a positive test. So given the fact that it doesn't appear as a positive test, they told you that. And that's the thing. Dan Rayfield told you that to begin with, but people just took it and ran with it and said, oh no, Ryan this, Ryan that. I didn't do that. It's funny when people such as myself are strategic and intelligent and don't let emotions overtake their actions, and a move that is not understood in real time, over time, tends to make a lot of sense. And that's what happens when you're a true alpha and you don't make brash or rash decisions and go spiraling off of an emotion or on a whim. I don't do that on my channel. That's why I specifically said the words that I said. Like, the point I'm making is, how is it that you have people who love the sport, allegedly, of boxing, and when the bad news comes out to support their agenda, they cover it? Fair play. Bad news is bad news is bad news. It is what it is. But then when corrective news, or there's a correction or amendment to the news, or somebody made a mistake, or further testing like this Ryan Garcia situation, and then now people are slow to react. How is it, like, for example, when Ryan tested positive, you dig? When Ryan tested positive, videos come out same day, pretty much same hour from everybody, right? Because it was big news. But what I'm saying about NYSAC or the New York State Athletic Commission lady retiring is a very interesting piece of big news as well as Ryan being cleared of the anabolic. Because on my channel, I told you specifically, I said that the anabolic, the nandrolone metabolite, was going to be really hard for Ryan Garcia to beat. I told you that. I said that one's shame on you type of thing. And now he beat it, that one. So again, I got the deep dive where I will talk about this. But Ryan is not in the clear. But again, I'm giving you guys real information that you could take to the bank. Ryan is not in the clear. Ryan has not actually come out and passed all his tests. He still has an uphill battle. And I'm not trying to lessen the offense, but if he had the nandrolone metabolite in his system, then that, like I told you, would have been harder to even explain. Now that it's whittled down to just the failed test with Ostarine the day before and the day of the fight, he has, in my opinion, more of a case, which is what I told you. The more banned substances in your system, the harder it's going to be to explain. Again, I likened it to a man cheating on his girl, right? If a man cheats on his girl and there's only one girl in question, then now you only have to convince your girlfriend, I didn't sleep with this one coworker. That task becomes more daunting and harder if it's on some Tiger Woods stuff where they say he's messing around with 250 plus women. That, I mean, you on your own with that. That's how it is with the PEDs. If you had one thing in your system, common sense is going to be easier to try to pinpoint like what went wrong with that, as opposed to this is my system, this is my system, this is my system. So this is huge news that one of the things dropped off. But again, people who are truly biased in the Haniacs, they're only talking about one side. Me, I'm following this whole thing, and that's why, specifically why I told you that I'm going to reserve my opinion until this plays out, because there's so many twists and turns in it. I really wanted to be done with this fight, to be honest. I don't even want to talk about this fight anymore. It is what it is. I thought I did a great job building it on the channel, and I was hoping to be done with it, hoping that, you know, we move on to the Canelo Munguia, Tanks fighting with Frank. You got Usyk and Fury. I was hoping to be done with it, but it's the gift that keeps on giving. So just study what I say. You know, look at how people are slow to react when it's only pieces of news. It tells you they have a dog in the race. Me, I don't care. This is not my world. With if Ryan fails 50 drug tests, if Devin fails a drug test, none of that has nothing to do with me, because I'm just doing my job. But other people, I can only worry about me and what I'm doing. But it's just funny to see that people are so slow to react when it comes to news that doesn't fit their agenda. And the thing is, Dan Rayfield, this is his initial tweet, or one of them, and he says, this is the VADA letter sent regarding Ryan Garcia's 2 drug tests and a questionable result still being tested for a second banned substance. So if one was so inclined and you actually paid attention and didn't have a dog or a horse in the race, you would know that the second nandrolone metabolite was always something that was skeptical. And the problem with it is VADA doesn't publicly release your records. You know what I'm saying? Like if you do a STD test, the doctor's not going to just post it on Reddit, you know what I mean? And like post whatever your results are, because there's certain confidentiality agreements. The information gets sent to the teams and the camps, so they usually know before anyone. And then from that point, it usually gets leaked to somebody. That's why the public might be late to find out about a test fail, like Dillian White versus Oscar Rivas, where Dillian White had already tested positive. The fight commenced and went through, and we didn't find out until UCAD or somebody leaked it, like the Daily Mail or whoever leaked it online. That's how these things happen. But the problem with it is the questionable substance created more of an intense situation that if the information didn't leak prematurely, then it never would have been in question. So the fact that it was questionable but needed more testing, and then the information leaked before the testing, it already put a darker black cloud over Ryan Garcia. And for that aspect of it is not fair. You know what I mean? That part is not fair, because if the reports would have just showed what had been confirmed, the Osterine, then that's what everyone would ran with. But now you got videos, not from me, but from others, with inaccurate information saying that Ryan tested positive for 2 PEDs. And I got to do the deep dive video, because I'm the Bruce Wayne of boxing. I'm the Batman of boxing, and Gotham needs me. There's so much bad and misinformation. You got people who are scientists now. You are people who don't even know boxing, who don't get credentialed to fights or don't know boxing. All their information is bad. All their predictions are wrong, whatever. And now all of a sudden they acting like information experts, and literally they're getting information from Dan Rayfield. So they're just watching it unfold, but coming from a perspective as if they know this and that, like they have a source on it, or they've seen the test and things like that. And again, just watch how the Haniacs are slow to react and do their job only when it doesn't fit the narrative. This is big news that Ryan beat. It's like if someone's being charged of 2 things and then he beats 1 count, now he's down to 1 thing he has to beat. It's kind of common sense. But again, when Ryan tested positive, that was front page news. And now people have this Osterine only, not 2 PED news, and they push it to the back in the classifieds, trying to hide it from you. I don't hide the information. It's going to be what it's going to be. If they do the B sample and Ryan, they say is more Osterine, or they find something else, I'll be here to report it, because that's my job. That's what I do, you know? And it's just funny to see people backpedaling. There were people who already condemned and said, oh, you're on 2, 3, 4 PEDs. The information's bad. Oh, you failed 4 tests. People are saying something about a 3rd test. Again, I got the deep dive video where I'll try to break this down. It's not really complicated. It's complicated depending on who you listen to. If you're listening to a bunch of sources and some of them are accurate and then some of them aren't, like if you're listening to Boxing Ego and Dan Raphael, and then you're going to listen to somebody else like random on TikTok or YouTube, and they're not fully versed on the situation, that's why you're confused. It's really not confusing what is happening here. But I definitely find it interesting with one of the heads of the NYSAC commission. And to be honest, this is why I told you I didn't like the fight for Devin Haney, because this is all just a bit too much. It's like one big soap opera. And now Ryan's been pushing the conspiracy theory angle for so long now. And now little moments like this, oh, I was seen with Trump. So guilty or not guilty, whatever it is decided, but when it all plays out, he's going to have this conspiracy angle that he's going to try to thread the needle on, because he's already been pumping it. He's like, look, the person stepped down. That might mean something. It might mean nothing. But you know, Ryan Garcia is definitely going to use that to support his case. And that's why I told you, pay attention to this space to see what unfolds, because I'm not surprised by anything that's happened. It's just all over the place. Much of this has been predicted by me. And now we have a total mess, and people are going to be left with questions. And some people will still believe this, or this will be believed by others. But Ryan has his due process. We'll see how it plays out. Like I told you,